Guys, I just wrapped up the bonus module for the Who You Be masterclass. It was absolutely beautiful, and we were like an hour. We were an hour over, but we were at like an hour and 15 minutes, and there were questions coming in, and I didn't want to keep everyone because we were already over the hour. So I thought that I would come on here and sorry, I'm getting my sound back in my ears. Was really distracting. It was Instagram. Instagram was doing it. And so I thought I would come on here and answer some of the questions. And also, I feel like I always get these, insights that come through afterwards as well. So someone asked in the context of, I always get to the, I always get to the edge of what I want. I always get almost there and I self-sabotage. What would I do? And the answer that I had to this that I want to deepen is I would look less at the thing and I would look more at integrating all of the parts of yourself. And so what I mean by that, something I've been really talking about in this masterclass is the difference between us escaping from who we are and really owning who we are. And so a lot of the times in healing, it's like, oh, that part of me was bad. Let me put that in a box and let me become a new version of me so I can move forward. And what we're really doing is we're just creating more fragmentation in our experience. What we want to do is move into more wholeness. We want to integrate all of the parts of ourselves, the good parts, the bad parts, all integrated into one whole. So there's not these parts of us that we've pushed into the shadow that are kind of invisibly controlling us. And so when it comes to something like this, where we have this awareness of a pattern where I almost get to what I want and then I self-sabotage in some way, I would really look at, okay, well, what feelings or what experiences do you get access to as you get close to that, and what is your relationship with them? So somewhere that I might look for something like this is, what is your relationship to failure? Because as we get close to the completion of something, success and failure become very real possibilities and light up in our awareness. And if we have a relationship with failure where we are absolutely terrified to fail, well, to your subconscious, it's like, well, that's an easy choice. I'll just move you away from this thing, and then I move you away from the possibility of failure. But we're actually moving ourselves away from the possibility of success as well. The same thing with disappointment. A lot of us have a really difficult time with disappointment. So if as you get closer to this thing and the possibility of disappointment comes up, it may be that you're avoiding following through with this thing simply because to your subconscious, it's like, well, if I avoid following through, then I can't actually succeed or fail because, or I can't actually be disappointed because I never actually finish it. And the real key with this is, what a lot of people will do is they kind of try to overwrite, is what I call it. It's like, okay, I have this fear of failure, and so I'm going to rewrite a story on top and go, I'm a success. I succeed no matter what. I believe in myself. Da, 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 da. And it's like, that can work for a time. I explain this in the master classes. When we're doing this, we're asking our persona to take over and really, really like put on the energy of success and really hold that. But that's not actually our authentic self, where all our power comes from and where we can create from this place of like ease and effortlessness. And so what I would do is, when you recognize something like that, is to actually become really familiar with the part of yourself that feels like a failure, to really come to know the aspect of yourself that is afraid to fail and probably has failed, and to love that part of yourself, to own that part of yourself, to own the failure in you. Because the part of you that's failed is also the part of you that's wise. And when you push failure away, you miss the gift in failure, which is wisdom. And so you can't shortcut this and go straight to wisdom. You actually have to sit with the uncomfortable feelings. You have to sit with the uncomfortable parts of yourself. Maybe there's a season of your life where you tried to have a business and it failed, or something happened, a relationship failed, and you think about that part of you. You're like, I was bad in that time of my life. That part of my life was bad. That's why that still has power over you, because you're not seeing that part of yourself and owning it and loving it. It's not that who you used to be was bad and who you are now is good. It's that all of you is you. And you owning the allness of who you are and being comfortable with the sides of yourself that you might not like, the sides of yourself that might be unfamiliar, the sides of yourself that you've pushed into the shadow, you owning and becoming so familiar with those parts of yourself is what will dissipate the power of that pattern of avoiding success, or self-sabotaging success because of the fear of failure. Because you neutralize the fear of failure by becoming one with the part of yourself that's afraid to fail and integrating it into the whole. Then it's like, what, you don't need to be afraid of failure, because you don't need to be afraid of the part of yourself that is a match for that. That will give you such a sense of power. And the universe kind of gives us the opportunity to do this through pain. I talked about this in the bonus masterclass today as well. The universe will hand us often very painful experiences to teach us the lessons, but we don't have to go through the painful experiences, because the better that we get at integrating these parts of ourselves, the less we actually have to go to the extremes of pain and rock bottoms in order to actually learn and grow. And so the more you don't need to be pushed to pain to integrate a part of yourself, the less you will need to be pushed to pain in your life experience. So it's often the parts of ourselves that we feel like we could never own, the parts of ourselves that we self-betray and we judge. We disown parts of our past, parts of our story, parts of ourselves, things that we've done. And those things that we disown about ourselves, they limit us from the shadows like you wouldn't believe. But your ability to see that part of yourself and really own it is the very key to neutralizing the pattern that it creates in your life. And the other and so if you want the bigger teaching on this and you're not already in the Who You Be masterclass, it'll be available for at least 24 more hours, and so you can sign up via the link in my bio. The other question that was asked today that was really valuable was about emotion and non-attachment. And someone shared that their previous mentor was really anti non-attachment or anti-neutrality. And what I was sharing is, what I want to deepen is that it's often not the experience ourself, but the level of allowing or resisting that creates the sort of reaction within us. And so I'll give you the example of, sometimes if we have this thing, and this is what we get taught. I think when we think about neutrality, we think sometimes like, I have to be calm, I have to be calm, I have to stay neutral, I have to be calm. But sometimes trying to be calm is the most dysregulating thing in that moment. If you've ever been in a situation that's like upsetting, or something's happening, or you're experiencing something, and you're just like, remain calm, remain calm, remain calm, remain calm. There's almost like this forcing down, like a pot is boiling over and you're forcing the lid down. There's almost like an invalidating of your own emotions and your own experience. And so I would say that that's not surrender in that moment. That's actually creating resistance. If you've ever been calm and nervous at the same time, like that's almost what that is, right? It's like there's an emotional experience, there's an emotional intensity that's trying to come through you, and you're like, no, I have to remain calm, I have to remain neutral. But that's not surrender. The surrender is the grace to allow ourselves the human experience, to allow ourselves to feel the pain, to feel the grief, to feel the anger, to feel the sadness, to feel the joy, and to have expanded our maturity and our ability to hold those intense emotions from a place of maturity where we are holding them and we're not just throwing them on others. And and also this kind of trust in our ability to just be in the experience of our experience, and to allow it, and to not get lost in it. And so it's like sometimes the neutrality is just the surrender to what is. I talked about this in the masterclass today as well. The surrender to what is the thing that allows us to be in the state of allowing, that allows all of the creation and all of the goodness that we're really looking for anyways. A lot of the pain that we create in our lives is the resistance to what is. So it's not that you it's not that you always need to be calm in every moment. It's that you need to be calm with whatever you're experiencing in that moment. It's that you need to be an allowing. And if you're trying to be calm in the face of upset, then that in itself is not being calm. It's like an inner resistance. It's like one truth versus another, rather than just allowing the truth that is. And this is the piece where it's like, well, if your thought is, well, I can't allow that, because if in that circumstance, me allowing anger or me allowing the upset would put me out of control, then that's really the invitation to work on emotional intelligence and your expanded ability to hold those seemingly uncomfortable emotions from a place of power and integration, because all of your emotions are good, all of your experiences and your feelings are valuable, and your ability to just trust yourself to experience and be in the moment that is each moment really changes your experience of life, because you're processing everything as it happens, and you're not constantly compartmentalizing things that need to be processed later. It gives you this ability to always be more present, because you're always processing what happens in the present with your presence. um, so I'll leave you to stew on that. But anyways, I thank you for joining me for this very brief live stream. I actually have to go to the vet now. My dog needs a shot. We're doing those very human things. And yeah, one more time, if you want to jump into that masterclass and you're not already in, then I invite you to jump in. It will be free for at least 24 more hours. And thank you for joining me today. I'm sending you so much love.